Action.
Action. Hi guys, I'm Nina.
I'm Mo.
And this is
JustCuz.
And yeah, we're here. We're recording. This is a new
location. We have many locations because we're multi-millionaires, so we can record anywhere.
In case you didn't know.
Next time we're gonna record at your house.
Invite us over. Like, we'll go anywhere if there's snacks in a hookah.
In a hookah, definitely a hookah. And shots.
And water to keep us hydrated.
So basically we're high maintenance.
but I don't feel like
we're a good time.
We are every single time. Mo, so being that you're into the stars, the moon and the sun and different things like that, is it like a Metro Boomin renegade right now, or some kind of like magnetic pull from the moon that's making everybody super like emotional right now, or that's just me?
That's you. We are in the Aquarius new moon, which means since you have Aquarius in your big three, everything should be going your way. You should be elevating, you should be growing, you should be in charge. So maybe you were going through the stepping stones because, you know, they say like it's like destruction before elevation or whatever.
Maybe. I'm feeling very destruction right now.
Are these new glasses?
No,
I'm gonna break them. Don't even worry about it.
No, I just got them on. You know what I mean?
Because you just got money?
No.
That's cute.
I shop on Zillow. It's cool, guys.
I'm about to shit on you. Don't worry about it.
But no, I'm feeling distracted. I've just been like a crybaby on the past few days. And I'm a crybaby like all the time. But it's just like,
you be crying?
Just all the time. Well, not all the time, but these past few days, yes. I've just been super emotional. I've been crying happy tears. I've been just like crying about people that I miss. Movies have been moving harder, like, and I realized that I can't watch rom-coms because I just get like emotional.
You did not cry on You People.
I just, not on You People, but after I watched it, I just cried. I just sat and cried because here's the thing.
That's mental illness. Yeah,
we've already established that I'm fucking mental. But the thing is, I just feel like rom-coms are just like, they're so cute, but then I turn it off. I'm like, this is not real life, and I want my life to be a rom-com. Not to say that I'm not happy inside of my relationship, at the same time, like, it's not a movie. Like, there's not a writer, there's not a director to yell cut when shit's not going right. Like, we can't just skip to the good part.
You're the writer, you're the director, you're the producer, you're in charge. Don't you believe that like art or movies, whatever, reflect reality or imitate?
Imitate, but it's usually an exaggerated version of it.
Maybe that's just because it's not your life right now. You think it's not real.
Maybe.
But it's very real, because I don't believe like nothing, what is it called? Nothing is new, or nothing has been done that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun or something.
Yeah, so they're getting that from somewhere. And I believe it is somebody's reality. It might not be your reality consistently. Right. But
I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that there are certain parts of my life I'm like, oh, this is so fucking rom-com. This is so cute. But then it's like, when I'm watching the movie, if it's not what that is right then, like, I'm just hyper focused on the fact that it's not like this right now. And that's annoying. So, just woke up with like puffy ass eyes. I hope that these lashes are covering and these thick ass glasses.
So you don't think you can make that your reality, or you can alter your reality? You don't think you're in charge?
No, I'm in charge. I just feel like, I think it definitely is a mindset. It's just whatever you choose to put focus on. Right. And because I'm a drama queen, like, I'm just, my scenes are the emotional crying scene where you're like laying out how you really
Which
feel.
is why you've been having that.
Yeah, so I just need to shift my focus on like the cutesy parts of it. But I just be like, I want to have a monologue and like cry about it.
See, I never, so that didn't make me cry. That didn't make me emotional. There are certain movies and certain scenes that I get emotional too, but I think that was really cute because I think Jonah Hill's trying to come out like he's down with the swirl.
First of all, he's been down with the swirl.
I didn't know.
So like, he made a movie a few years back. Is it mid-90s or 90s or something 90s? But it was basically just kind of showing how like a lot of times like skateboard culture and like hip hop culture are really parallel and or mesh. And when he was doing a lot of interviews, I just genuinely feel like Jonah Hill isn't like a perpetrating white boy trying to come in.
Right.
I don't think that he's even trying to be black per se. I just feel like he did grow up with the culture, so he respects it and he is a part of it. You know what I mean?
Giving very much my baby daddy.
Yeah, very much that.
Still very
much
white. Yeah, he's white, but
he's cool as fuck.
Yeah, he's down with the culture.
So that's what that was for me.
Can you explain the movie for those that didn't see it?
You People is a rom-com written and directed by Kenya Barris and Jonah Hill, and it's basically about Ezra, who's a Jewish man from West LA, comes from a pretty like a pretty well-off family. Yeah. But he doesn't feel seen by them at all. He works in finance, but he has a podcast where he talks about the culture, i.e. fashion, music, sports, etc. And cut to Amira, who is a black woman from Inglewood, and she's a stylist, and her family is Muslim, and they meet and they go on dates and they fall in love, and now they have to bring their two families together who know nothing about the other culture at all. I feel like Ezra's family is the family, or his mom more specifically is the, I wouldn't call her a Karen per se, but she's definitely that white woman who thinks that she's down and she thinks that she understands because she's watched like a couple of movies, but she's very tone deaf and very inappropriate. She talks to black people like they're black people versus like, you know what I'm saying? Like she's trying to prove that she understands our world. And then Amira's dad is like, I'm blackity black on black, y'all, and already went into the situation feeling like this white boy was not good for his daughter at all because he's white.
So are you upset with Ezra's mom and her character at all? Did it bother you?
I'm not upset. I feel like I'm definitely annoyed, but I'm glad that that character was shown, because I do think that her intentions were in the right place. She just went about it terribly, because like in all the scenes you could just tell like she's nervous, so she's just rambling. But I do think that she thought that she was doing the right thing. It just wasn't the right approach versus just talking to Amira like a person to get a better understanding of what her experience is.
So I wasn't upset with her at all. I definitely thought she meant well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think she was trying to make her more comfortable. Like, you're the only black person in the room.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some black stuff.
Right.
Because she's never really been around black people. All she knows is her predominantly white Jewish circle. So it's like, oh, maybe she was like, it was a thing where she was excited to learn something new, to be around something new. So she wanted to focus on that. Like when she was talking about her hair, like, is that a
roller set?
Yeah, like she wants to know about the culture, but she doesn't go about it the right way. Like I feel like for me, that wouldn't have bothered me. Over time, her doing that every single time I see her, very annoying. And I would have been like, hey, stop. But it wouldn't have upset me to the point, because I'd be like, well, at least she's trying. At least she's not ignoring that I'm black. At least she's not upset that I'm black. So I appreciated her.
I also feel like you would have had just for how you are, you would have had the conversation way before the rehearsal dinner. Like, hey, I understand what you're trying to do and I can appreciate it. However, stop talking to me like I'm not living in this experience. Like, just talk to me.
And I'm not the black voice. I hate when people want me to answer for black people. I can answer for me and my experience, but every black person has a different experience.
That's a fact.
Why is that?
Because we're not a monolith. I love that that's become a thing. Like, we're not a monolith, which we aren't, which is why this is a side conversation, but since we're here, I don't like the backlash or the hate train against Kenya Barris, because a lot of people feel like his writing or projects, etc., are like watered down, or they're corny, or they're not black enough, because he does like a lot of the like mixed kids, mixed mom.
You know what that reminds
couples.
me of? The people that get mad at someone because of their preference of who they choose to date. Like, you only date white women, or you only date people that you find attractive, or like I like what I like, and I don't feel like anybody should have, like, if it's not your thing, just ignore it.
Just ignore it. Go find something else to watch. And it's just like, we can't say that we want more black stories, and we don't want it to be like a stereotypical thing, because there are many experiences, and then once we get it, it's like criticize, and that's like with everything. I wish that we would do less of like bashing versus like, I wish we do less bashing and just like, okay, that's cool, but that's not for me. Let me go find my thing, because it's like they bash everybody. Tyler Perry, him.
Right. You can't satisfy
everybody. You
Unfortunately,
and it's
we're
so
never satisfied. Like, you give a slave movie, I'm tired of slave movies. You do a mixed movie, I'm tired of mixed movies.
In the movie.
Everything you do, people are tired of it. Okay, well, go do something else. It's fine. Okay, but speaking of the mixed race and all that, there was a scene where Eddie Murphy, who is Amir's dad, was in the coffee shop, and he was looking around, and he was like, everything is like gentrified, and the people don't have the same hair texture or the same skin tone that they used to. And I know we speak from a different point of view because we look like this, but do you feel like the people, the black people, are becoming more gentrified, as in like we don't look like our roots and our ancestors?
I mean, if I'm speaking from my experience, sure, because I come from a mixed family. Judging from like my kid definitely looks like she's mixed. So yes, but at the same time, I have cousins that don't look like us at all. So I think it's whatever your environment entails. But I do feel like this is the first time for a lot of black people where we are open to dating outside of our race. That's not just white or Spanish. Like we're open to dating pretty much anybody that we feel a vibe with. So I think over time, it's just gonna be a lot of mixed babies.
So what was it? I feel like now that I'm older, like I grew up being like the lightest person in the class, in the room, in the group. Like, I was always the lightest person, and I'm black. So now I see other black people that are just as light as me. So what is going on in the gene pool where we're coming out so different looking now?
But that's the beautiful thing about being black, is because it's really a spectrum. Like, Eddie Murphy used the term tar baby, right? But like, it's like, not even if you go back to Africa, which is our roots, like, not everybody in Africa is super dark skinned.
No,
so
South Africa is white.
Yeah, South Africa is white, but even in like West African countries, they're like your skin tone. So it's like, I don't know. I think that that's also very narrow-minded to think that black looks like this one thing also. So
skin tone. Some people like to say if you're mixed, you're not black. Or you're lighter, so you're not really black, or you're not black for real, or you don't understand being black. Do you feel like, I know we have different experiences, but do you feel like the lighter tone black people aren't as black as a darker? Drake said it best. Yeah, I'm light skinned, but I'm still a dark nigga.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely understand. Again, we had different experiences. I know that there's privilege of just like being light skinned, or let me not say maybe a privilege. This is such a touchy subject. But I definitely understand. I can't speak to what the experience is of a darker skinned black woman, so I don't want to say that it's not the same or that it is the same, because it's probably not. But I don't think that it's fair to say because you're fairer skinned or because you're mixed, you aren't black enough, or that you can't speak to the black experience, because I can, because I'm definitely not white, and I think people would identify me as black before they
the outside definitely sees us all as black, no matter what shade we are. We all look alike to them. So for those instances, we are one. But when we get together for whatever reason, we segregate ourselves, and that's unfortunate.
Why is it like that still? Do you think it's ever going to get better? Like,
you know where it comes from.
Well, yeah.
So, but that's unfortunate for us because we let that one point in time in slavery where they separated us based off skin tone and and now we are carrying that on forever. Instead of us coming together and be like, you know, we're all slaves.
Yeah.
It's not like you're better than me or I'm better than you because I live on this side of the yard and you live on that side of the yard. We're all one, but
we're all oppressed.
But for whatever reason, it's always somebody looking at somebody else's like, oh no, you don't have it as bad as me. Even though you have it bad, it's not as bad as me.
Yeah, I don't like the trauma Olympics thing of like it's like, yes, our struggles may be different, but like for me in my experience, what I'm going through is traumatic as fuck, and what you're going through is traumatic as fuck, and it's not fair to say yours is more severe than mine, in my experience.
Because no side is accepting me all the way. Like, the white side is not fully accepting me, the black side is not fully accepting me, so I have to stick with my people, unfortunately. But it's not that way for me now in life, but that's the way a lot of people see it.
So there was a scene in the movie where there was a comparison to the Jewish Holocaust to slavery. Do you think that that's a fair comparison? Do you think it's the same? Do you think it's different?
I don't know. The Holocaust was bad. Slavery was bad. But it's no buts.
However,
looking at the situation, like, you know, that their community, they have generational wealth, and it just keeps going and going and going. Like, there was a scene where he was talking about, was it Ezra? Ezra's dad was
a podiatrist. What is your dad? A podiatrist. What was his dad? A podiatrist.
So it's like they have all the connections and they can get you whatever you want. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. We should be doing that too. But we're too busy like in competition with each other to help each other out because we are so powerful. We spend the most money in the country. So it's like, why don't we come together with our money, with our wealth and grow, but we're too busy in a competition with each other, whereas their community sticks together and forever grows. So I feel like they learned from their situation. We was in this terrible situation together. Now we got to stay together forever because they're, whoever they are, they're out to get us. Whereas we know people are out to get us, but we still gonna separate. So I feel like...
Well, you said that nobody's out to get us, as in black people?
No, they know people are out to get us, but we won't stick together.
Yeah. I think that that's where the frustration comes from. I think it's because black people feel like slavery is not that far removed, and not even just slavery, but just like the 60s and Jim Crow, and just still even things that we go through today, we feel like it's still very present and it's not that long ago. So we don't like to find similarities in what the Jewish people went through with Holocaust. And I think there's also this anger because we can't band together, or we don't have the power to basically demand certain things if we are if we're discriminated against or whatever. But it's like you said, if we would just get to a point where we're working together to build that power structure, then it wouldn't be this thing of where we're like trying to see whose plight was worse, us or Jewish people. So there was I don't know, do you have something in the middle, because I'm about to skip to the end? No, you can. Okay, so skipping to the end of the movie. At the very end, of course, how all movies go, everything's great, it falls apart, and it comes back together. So when they were coming back together, so of course Ezra and Amira broke up because their family differences or whatever. And then they came back together off of the strength of their parents who brought them together, and eventually they got married. So I was wondering, have you ever had a situation where outside influences, not even like in a relationship, but it could be in a relationship, but outside influences made you not do something that you really wanted?
because they were really in love, but they broke up and canceled the wedding because their families couldn't get along.
Yeah.
Would you ever end something because of the outside opinion?
I don't think I would end something, but there's been things that I wouldn't do because I know that I have such a strong influence from my family. I think there's more of this thing of like, I don't want to disappoint, or I don't want y'all looking at me crazy, or I don't want to, etc., etc. But if I start something, then I'm here. So it's like I don't. It would be extremely difficult. It would suck, and I'm thankful that I've never been in a situation where I felt like I had to choose between my happiness and what my family or friends wanted. But I don't foresee me not doing something I wanted to do because other people didn't like it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I don't care who I disappoint. I don't care who's upset. I'm not living my life for anyone else. Like, I was put here to fulfill everything that I want to do. So if that upsets you, then I'm sorry. And that's probably why I'm not married now. And that's okay, because I'm worried about myself. Yeah. Like, I'm very selfish, and I think it's okay to be selfish. You should definitely make you happy. You can't make someone else happy or contribute to their happiness if you're not happy. Yeah. So if I'm only focused on how someone else feels and what someone else would want, like, yeah, I can do something for the greater good, but why would I please the world and hurt myself?
Don't you think that that's kind of the plight of like a leader, hero, etc.? Like, you do put your, like, the thing of a lot of heroes is like they have to let go of their love, or they have to put their wants, needs aside because they're like, I have to think of the greater good. Mm-hmm. I'm not a hero. Never. I'm not the hero in the story. In some cases, like, I help who I can. But for the most part, I'm definitely choosing my happiness over other people's happiness. So you just don't have to feel a way for it. But you'll come around eventually. And if you don't,
that's okay too. Yeah, I'm never going to end my whole situation. And then I'm gonna be upset the way they brought us back together. It's like, I wasted all this time. I could have been well into my marriage in the honeymoon phase. Now y'all finally figured it out. Now I'm really upset. Now
I'm mad at how they did it. Like, what was it, like 3 months later? How do you know I was gonna show up wedding ready, first of all?
Right.
Just anyway. How do you know that I hadn't been like talking to somebody? Like you just don't know. So I think that I would have been mad at my parents for that too. Like, y'all are always imposing.
What do you do in that situation? It's 3 months later, you already started dating or doing whatever, you got other stuff going on. But I mean, honestly, 3 months is not enough time.
It's not enough time, especially if we were like in love. Like, they bought a house together.
I was thinking that. So who lived where?
Yeah,
y'all had a whole house together. But yeah,
but shout out to them for being in a position to get a house that quick and be able to spend
where he comes from.
Well, yeah, but she was able to do her thing too.
Yeah, but she was working on getting whatever position that she wanted.
Okay, so let's skip to a scene in the middle of the movie. So it was a scene where she went out for a job and ultimately didn't get it because she was black and because the people that were hiring her assumed that she went to Harvard versus Howard. And she was like really frustrated about it, and Ezra came in like, oh well, I have a family friend, like let me call him so that way next time you go out you'll be able to get a job. And she basically denied the help because she was like, it's not fair that I've had to work hard for everything that I've gotten, and then you come in, Mr. White Savior, and be able to make a phone call and just change it. Would you have accepted the phone call, or would you have been prideful, like, no, I want to work hard for it, or
100% accepted it?
I'm taking all of the
What's the point? I feel like my end to that world is what it is. It's my end to that world. Like, I don't have to be the working hard white person, and I started from the bottom up, and why would I mean, it's cool, it's great that you are able to do that, but I don't want to work hard.
And I've worked hard up to this point.
It's time for a break.
This is my end, so that way I can be the inside man for somebody else. This is like not each one teach one, but kind of the
I can pull you up. Like this white man pulled me up. So now I'm about to bring everybody with me.
All the niggas.
I would never deny the help. Like that's the point of having somebody from different experiences, whether it's like the suburbs versus the ghetto or black versus white. You need all of those connections for multiple reasons. Yeah. And there's no way you should turn down. You should. I mean, I'm not turning down help. I'm sorry. Especially if I don't ask for help because I'm too prideful to ask. Like I would never go to you and be like, do you think your connections can get me in? No. Yeah. But the second you say I can get you in, I'm in there. Yeah. Yeah. So
say less.
I feel like sometimes black people overwork themselves to prove a point, and you don't have to do that either. Like there's no point in getting gray hairs to prove a point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over this feeling like we have to work. I mean, everybody should have to work harder. That's not how things are. And I just feel like work smarter, not harder. Accept the help, but don't necessarily turn your back on where you come from either. I think that's the thing. People feel like once you do kind of cross over into that other world, like you're no longer black enough or down anymore because you're in that other world. But it's like, no, this is for all of us. I'm trying to get all of us into another
level. We're gonna be rich. I mean, we're already rich, but we're gonna be like filthy rich in like a few days.
Yep.
Is the money gonna change you?
No. Because here's the thing, I think that people say money can't buy happiness, and I think that's a fucking lie.
Right.
I feel like if you weren't already happy or weren't already fulfilled and you now think that the money will bring that peace and bring that happiness, absolutely not. But I feel like I've worked hard enough and I've established a foundation and found happiness in things that money can only add to. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also the type where if I got it, everybody that I fuck with got it too. So the only person that's gonna change in the situation would be other people, and I would hope that they don't.
Right.
But it wouldn't be me. It would be the other people.
The money's gonna change me. I feel like it has to change me. Like I can't be in this tax bracket doing the same stuff I was doing in this tax bracket. I have to change. I can't be in the same rooms. I can't be around. I don't want to be around the same people. I'm going to bring who I want with me.
Yeah.
But as far as like the group, the collective, like no.
But there's no group and there's no collective with me. Like my circle is like this.
Yeah.
So once we get filthy, like everybody that's in this circle is fucking coming. So I don't feel like, I would hope it would be traumatizing and heartbreaking if that happens and someone inside of my I don't like that I'm doing this, but somebody in my little circle
right in your face too
decides to not fuck with me in the same way because they feel like I'm changing when that's not the case. I'm just adding to.
I feel like it will kind of sort of be unfortunate, but I will still appreciate it because I'll know instead of you rooting for me, you're jealous of me.
Yeah.
I can put you on, I can introduce you to stuff, I can give you a handout, and instead of you being excited for me, you're upset about it because it's not you. So you never wanted me
to win in the first place.
Yeah, you wanted me to do good, just not better than you.
Yeah. Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah, and that's why I'm okay with whoever goes. But
you're cool with cutting people off. I'm working on it.
I don't feel like I cut people off. I feel like they cut themselves off.
That's true. I agree. You're right.
Yeah, they just. That's the problem. But since I'm never wrong, it couldn't possibly be my fault. I mean, if you fell off, it was just the universe alignment. You weren't supposed to stay on board this whole time, and I'm completely okay with that. Future, I could never miss a loss.
And I also think that it's something about accepting, like, some people are literally around for a season. Like, it's okay to appreciate that time y'all had and not like drag it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just appreciate whatever that moment was, whatever lessons you learned from that relationship, and keep it moving. Like, I wish you nothing but the best. We're just not going to continue on with whatever this is. And
I always leave peacefully. Like, I never go out with a bang. That's how I know I'm not tripping, I'm not crazy. Like, I just let the situation kill itself, and I'll be like, all right, time to go down the street. And I just go down the street and be happy.
Time to go down the street. Well, that was our deep dive into interracial relationships and
and problematic thinking.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. Who's problematic thinking in this situation?
I really feel like Amira's dad was problematic thinking.
Yeah,
he was very just gun ho, no to the white man.
Yeah,
is that because he was Muslim?
I think that's because he was just black, but being Muslim probably added on to it. I think black fathers, for the most part, is just be like, you can bring home whoever you want, but like, please don't let it be. Yeah, just please don't let it be a white man. But I do think he was more problematic than Ezra's mom, because at least like she was trying.
She wasn't coming from a place of hate.
Yeah, she wasn't coming from a place of hate. She just went about it terribly. He was just from jump like absolutely not.
Was Malcolm X Muslim?
Yes.
You know,
he was Nation of Islam, then converted to like just straight Muslim.
And you know his mom was white?
Yeah. That's what Ezra's saying. He's like, yeah, our guy.
Yeah, that really bothers me that it doesn't, it's weird.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can't completely shut off half of who you are because you don't like it. Like, it's still you. And just because you are darker complexion don't mean like mentally you don't have white man tendencies. So it's like, was he leading us because of his color, or was he leading us from the mindset of a white man?
You think Malcolm X had the mindset of a white man?
He could have.
I don't think so.
Just because he was like black and for the people, like was he not like would he reverse the roles if he could oppress white people? Would he?
Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know enough. But if I am recollecting, whatever. If I'm remembering correctly, I think the nation just acknowledges the fact that like white people have done some terrible things to us, and it's more of like them wanting to be like, you have to acknowledge and take accountability for the fact that y'all fuck us over. And I think that the frustration is that white people be like, oh, I didn't do anything. It isn't me. It was my great grandfather. It's like, yeah, but you're also not understanding or taking accountability that you still have privilege based off of what your racist great
So even if they acknowledged it and took accountability, would it make a difference?
For some people, yes. For some people, no.
For me, absolutely not. Like, whether you playing dumb or whether you're actually dumb, like, it's the same thing for me. So it doesn't, I don't know, but I'm coming from a different experience.
I don't know.
But that was our review of You People, written by Jonah Hill and Kenya Barris, Netflix. Really good movie.
Watch it. I watched it like 3 times.
What would you give it out of 10?
I would give it an 8. I would give it an 8 because it was kind of like there were some parts I was like, oh, this is corny, or this is kind of predictable. But I think rom-coms are supposed to be like corny, and kind of predictable, because it's a rom-com. Like, what else do you think is supposed to happen other than there's big conflict and everything comes together at the end? So I would give it an 8.
I'll give it a 7.5. Like, it was good, it was cute, it was aesthetically pleasing,
very aesthetically
but it was very predictable. You knew what was going to happen. So, but I appreciate the what do you call it? The cast, for sure.
Yeah, the cast was full of legends like Nia, Eddie, Jonah Hill, Lauren London. I don't know Ezra's mom's real name, but she was on Seinfeld.
Oh.
Mike Epps.
Shout out Carisha.
Carisha
for her
was in there.
debut.
Yeah, like it was a cast. Like, the cast was awesome, and I like when you can bring a lot of like not high profile, but like popular names, and it's not super corny. Yeah. Because sometimes when it's forced, it's like, this is stupid. I would have just much rather a whole bunch of new faces versus you trying to bring in all these big names, and it was stupid.
But yeah, they all mesh well together.
Very much so. Yeah.
Well, like, share, subscribe, follow us at monos_best.
Nina Soul, Nina with 2 I's, Soul, SOL.
And at the JustCuz Pod on Instagram.
Peace.